Right now, somewhere on this planet, 22 people are chasing a ball. Thousands are watching them. Millions more are watching on screens. And almost none of them are asking the most obvious question. Why? Why does a ball make humans lose their minds? The answer is far stranger than you think. Your brain is not built for the modern world. It is built for a world that no longer exists. A world of open plains, rival tribes, scarce food, and survival at any cost. Buried inside that ancient wiring is the reason football was not just invented, but inevitable. Let's go back, way back. Long before there were stadiums or referees or jersey numbers, humans played. Anthropologist Michael Mandelbaum, who spent years studying sport as a social force, argues that competitive physical games are as old as human cooperation itself. You did not invent sport. Sport was already inside you. The earliest known ball game traces to Mesoamerica, roughly 1400 BCE. The Olmec people played a game called ulama. The ball was solid rubber. The courts were long stone alleys. The stakes, depending on the era, were sometimes life and death. Not metaphorically, literally. Humans loved this game so much they were willing to die for it. Why would any sane species do that? Because the game was never about the ball. It was about your need to belong to something larger than yourself. To prove your tribe is stronger. To channel violence into ritual. To transform chaos into meaning. Anthropologist Victor Turner called this liminality, the idea that certain events exist outside normal time, in a suspended space where the usual rules do not apply. A football match is that space. For 90 minutes, ordinary life is paused. The banker and the factory worker sit side by side, screaming at the same thing. That shared suspension is not entertainment. It is a primal need. In ancient China, around 200 BCE, soldiers played kuju, kicking a leather ball through a silk net to train aggression and fitness. Every civilization, independently, arrived at the same conclusion. Put a ball on the ground, divide into sides, and let the game absorb what daily life cannot hold. But why a ball? David Eagleman, neuroscientist and author of The Brain, has shown that the human visual system is wired to track moving objects. Your eyes lock onto anything in motion before your conscious mind engages. The ball is a neurological trigger. It hijacks your attention at a biological level. You cannot not watch it. The moment you see a ball in the air, your motor cortex fires before you decide to move. Sport plugs into your most primitive reflex systems, built to catch food, throw weapons, evade predators. Football did not create those instincts. It gave them a new address. Modern football took its current shape in 19th century England. In the early 1800s, each school played its own version. Different rules, different levels of violence, deeply local. Then, in 1863, a group of men gathered at the Freemasons Tavern in London and formed the Football Association. They wrote down the rules. The game became standardized, exportable, universal. Within decades, football had spread across Europe, South America, Africa, and Asia, faster than almost any cultural export in history. Sociologist Eric Dunning argued that football arrived when industrialization had stripped people of meaningful physical expression. The factory floor demanded stillness and obedience. The pitch offered the opposite: movement, unpredictability, collective power. You were not built to sit still. Football gave you permission to be human again. But there is one more layer, one rarely talked about. Football endures not just because of the body. It endures because of the story. Every match has a beginning, a middle, a climax, and an ending you cannot predict. Psychologist Jerome Bruner spent decades demonstrating that the human brain is fundamentally a story processing machine. You do not experience events as raw data, you experience them as plot. Football delivers plot in its purest form, compressed, emotionally loaded, with real stakes. A last-minute goal is not just a goal. It is a reversal, a resurrection. The oldest story in human history, the moment when all seems lost and everything changes. You have been responding to that story since you sat around fires listening to hunters describe the chase. Football is just the newest version of that fire. So the next time you find yourself gripping a seat, or yelling at a screen, or feeling something crack open in your chest when a ball crosses a line, do not be embarrassed. That is not weakness. That is thousands of years of human need compressed into 90 minutes. The ancient Olmec who played for their lives on a stone court would recognize exactly what you feel. Because right now, somewhere on this planet, 22 people are chasing a ball. And now, finally, you know why.